where would we like to see ourselves creatively in 5 years?
I think in 5 years, personally, I would really like to have Exhale obviously done. I'd like to have my album Exhale finished. I'd like to have Paper Wraps finished. And I'd like to have Princess Potato finished. Those three albums of mine. And also, um, I would like it would be great to get some kind of recognition for something I do.
Mm,
Whether that's local or worldwide, it doesn't matter to me. I really want to just be able to continue to create, and I want to continuously challenge myself. So like, I don't know. It's been since 2015 since I released my last album. In some kind of way, I did feel bored with it. And so maybe I need something new to push myself further. So maybe after these, planned records that I have in the pipeline, I'll want to do something completely different. I've always wanted to write a book, and I actually had I have like a whole story in my head that I used to have this notepad full of ideas, which I don't know where it is anymore. So it would be a whole new story if I started it over. But I'd love to write a book. Um, so I don't know. In 5 years, I hope I'm way more productive than I am now. I feel like I have a problem with consistency, productivity, and procrastination. And I'd love to just be really fine tuned. Going back to a point I made just now, really it doesn't matter if I get recognition. Like, I just want to be able to be content with what I'm working on and just knowing that I'm just happy with it. I just want to be happy with it. And like, if I go to the movies and see a story, I'm like, damn, that's good. That inspired me. I just always want to be able to be inspired. And side note, something that I find really funny is whenever I come up with an idea, if I let that idea sit for a year, for 6 months, I always end up seeing that idea somewhere else. So, like, for example, I
yeah.
always wanted to make a song called Autumn Leaves. And I put out an album called Rugrat X. I
Yeah.
was on break at work years ago. I was flipping through, I don't know, Apple Music or whatever, and I see that Chris Brown put out a song called Autumn Leaves
Yeah.
on an album called X. And I was like,
Oh,
Go.
wow.
what the hell, Chris Brown?
Yeah.
Wow.
It never fails to happen. My ideas get used somewhere. So I'm always like, dude, if I had the platform, I would make the best ideas worldwide. Because obviously other people are doing them too.
Yeah. Right.
I relate to kind of both your points there. So for me, in terms of the recognition side, I'm very ambitious with it, maybe overly so. But I picked a scenario where, for example, on Reddit, people are discussing their top five, of whatever craft, and I want to be in a situation where when I'm not mentioned in the list, everyone's knee-jerk reaction is, "Oh, why didn't you include this guy in your list?" Like, for
Nice.
example, when people talk about top five rappers. If someone doesn't include Tupac or Biggie, everyone's knee jerk reaction is, oh, why didn't you include these two? I want that for whatever I'm doing, for YouTube right now, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then on the other side of that, I love to, I've talked to you guys before about how I have so many different creative things I want to do. So I also relate to you, John, in the sense that I would just love to be exploring loads of different creative things, So I'd love to have like multiple successful YouTube channels, like maybe a novel released, maybe like actually doing something with my blog, just releasing all these creative things, maybe streaming too. I just really want to explore so many different creative avenues. And even if I don't get that recognition side, just constantly exploring the craft and improving myself in that regard is something I really hope I do.
Yeah. I really agree with that. I agree with both of you, especially on the I guess you both mentioned what John was mentioning more about, like exploring and constantly like challenging yourself. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
Josh, you were mentioning just like constantly honing your craft, in other words, and I totally agree with that. It's something we all strive for. I guess so with that being said, that's part of the conversation, and part of it, the other part of it, I guess the simple answer to the question where I would like to see myself creatively in 5 years, basically, I mean, pretty much what you guys said, but I guess the simple answer is just more output and some level of recognition. So yeah, I would
That
definitely like
sums it
to
up well.
have
Yeah.
more of a portfolio. I mean, obviously talking about 5 years, so obviously more of a portfolio. Novels and screenplays, I would say at this point, and then also, yeah, just have some level of recognition, or at least some people who are aware of who I am, with, or maybe being involved in some sort of circles where I feel, I guess, respected, or that I'm doing something satisfactory and that has a purpose, which is, I think, generally what people want, like any human wants.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to my friend Prophet Ghost tonight. He got up on stage and rapped some at a local bar, and that's so amazing. And that's something I would really like to do too. I want to be like confident. I want to get more confidence in everything too.